What's up, guys? My name is Presley Kane, and today I'm going to be talking about how sitting at the front of the classroom has bettered my academic career thus far, and how and why I started sitting in the front of the classroom versus the back of the classroom, and how it is the best thing that you can do for your education. When I got to college, I decided I was going to be a bad kid and sit in the back of the classroom. I always sat in the front of the classroom in high school, so in college I decided I was going to change that. I like talking to my friends during class, playing the snake game on my computer. If you know, you know. And I didn't really want to sit in the front of the classroom and be involved with class because class was boring. And then I started taking hard classes, and I started to migrate a little more towards the front of the class. When I mean more towards the front, I mean not the very back row, but the next to last, because I was like, this is a little bit better, right? And I'm still get to turn around and talk to my friends in between little breaks and whatever else. But then a few semesters start going by, I start getting to some harder classes, and I start doing research for this YouTube channel on how to speak, and I'm watching this TED Talk by a guy named Julian Treasure. He's got, I believe, 5 TED Talks, and he has one of the top 10 TED Talks of all time by viewership. And he's a communication expert. He's a communication extraordinaire. He knows a lot about verbal communication, sound architecture. And he has, and in one of his TED Talks, which I will link down below, I'm going to play some clips in a minute from it. And it's the difference between sitting in the front of the classroom versus the back of the classroom for sound reverberation. Sound reverberation is how many things the sound bounces off of before it gets to your ear. Think of it as sound has to travel 40 feet, for example, to the back of the lecture hall versus sound traveling 10 feet. The sound is going to become more distorted and not as accurate the further it has to travel. And this is exemplified. I'm watching this TED Talk, and it absolutely changes my life. I'll play the first clip now. It is of reverberation of 1.2 sitting in the back of the classroom.
In a classroom with a reverberation time of 1.2 seconds, which is pretty common, this is what it sounds like.
In language, infinitely many words can be written with a small set of letters. In arithmetic, infinitely many numbers can be composed from just a few digits with the help of the simple zero.
Not so good, is it?
I couldn't really tell what was going on there. I had no idea what they were saying, and it was absolutely atrocious to listen to. This is kind of what it sounds like being far away from the speaker, especially in some types of classrooms. If you do not have a good seat, or if people are talking around you, or if there's any clicking of the keyboards on the laptops, it's incredibly hard to hear, especially when contrasted with the next example, which will be played now.
If you take that 1.2 seconds down to 0.4 seconds by installing acoustic treatments, sound absorbing materials, and so forth, this is what you get.
In language, infinitely many words can be written with a small set of letters. In arithmetic, infinitely many numbers can be composed from just a few digits with the help of the simple zero.
What a difference.
So we went from 1.2 to 0.4. That is a stark difference in legibility of what they're actually saying. It's incredible how much of a difference sitting at the front of the classroom can be. And so with this, I learned this during Christmas break, and it's now April. I put that into effect this semester, sitting at the front of the classroom so that I can fully understand what my professors are saying, and it has changed my life. It has absolutely changed my life. I'm hearing every word the professor says now, and I get pulled in. I'm focusing more. When the professors focus on storytelling and really getting forth a point, it's so much easier to understand what they're saying and feeling the emotions they're conveying through the material. Yes, accounting has emotions. It's sometimes. So this semester I took action, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit in the front of the classroom. I'm just going to try it for 2 weeks. I'm going to give myself 2 weeks and see if I can learn better. And wow. Oh my gosh. It has helped me understand what is going on the first time rather than having to study even more later, because I'm still learning the same information, but I was having to learn a lot more on my own when I was sitting in the back of the classroom. Now it's easier to focus. I daydream less. Using 2 of my senses, I'm using hearing to hear what they're saying, and I'm using my eyes to see what they're speaking and reading their lips as well. And this has greatly increased my ability to understand my professors during lecture. I highly recommend you try this in your studies. And worst comes to worst, you just go back to sitting in the back of the classroom. It's not that big of a deal, but it could be the difference between you having a little bit easier time. It could lead to, a marginal increase, and, marginal is still something. It's a way that you can sort of hack the college system and understand things a little easier the first time. It saves you a little work on the back end, and it's something I've enjoyed doing, and I wanted to make a video about it and share my thoughts and opinions and where I got it from with you as well. Julian Treasure's full video where he talks about this will be linked down below, as well as his podcast with the Diary of a CEO, Steven, will be linked down below. It's an amazing podcast about sounds and how to communicate effectively with others. And I will also link his entire TED Talk playlist. They're all phenomenal. Dude's a really good speaker, and you can tell he spent a lot of time working on his craft. This was all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you probably like this one. Peace out. See you later.